This is the Health Hub with Dr. T. We're done the disclaimers. We have Mr. Ade Olayemi here. I want to start with just a little background. So you are married, and you've been married for how long?
Uh, 13 years now. Last time I checked.
13 years. Okay. And you have three kids.
Yeah, last time I
Okay.
checked. Too.
Yes. Yes, you have three kids. And at one point you had both of your parents living with you.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask, were your parents living with you due to health reasons? Did
Uh,
they just come and spend time with you and then their health kind of came on? What was that transition like?
so first it was just for them to come see the grandkids, or we just come
Okay.
visit for a few months and we go back. So they came. They always come and go back because my dad never really liked. I mean, most older people they never really like staying in America. We just wanted to okay, we'll come, and my mom would not want to travel alone, and we can't leave daddy alone back in Nigeria by himself. So they will both come visit, spend some months with us, and then go back to Nigeria. So they had the back and forth thing. So it started becoming an issue where they had to always have to. Before it was just we can send your passport to get your visa renewed. So when it got too complicated to renew their visas, you're like, you know what? Why don't you just get this thing and we switch to where you don't need a visa, you can just be with us. So that's how we started. They came to live with us for a while. I remember after every 6 months or so, my dad is always the one calculating and telling us that, did you hear the news? I think we can switch now from green card to see. I want to go back to Nigeria. Okay, no problem, no problem. Then the health issues kicked in. Oh wait, let me
Okay.
go back 2016. So they've been coming and going, right, to visit. They come visit the kids and go back. So they came 2016, one time 2016, and when they got here, I couldn't see that my dad was not looking good.
Okay.
As opposed when he left, I mean, when he was with me, he was good. Then he came back, wasn't looking good, and I was like, "What's wrong with you that you're not looking the way you're supposed to look?" And it was like, "Oh, it's just something minor. I have a back pain. It's been there for a while, but I knew I would just struggle through it." So that's one thing about my dad. He would not is something that he has taught us that it's a
Yeah.
bad thing. He would never tell you if he's going through any pain or anything. He would just keep it to himself. So
Which is what a lot of our parents do, right? And it's
yeah,
like they're going through things. They don't want to disturb. They don't want to put anything in our minds. So they just kind of keep quiet while
yeah. You
kind
can
of
imagine,
suffering through it.
you can imagine this man flying all the way from Nigeria with an ailment and coming looking like I saw him, I knew that he wasn't okay. And I was like, how long have you said, oh, it's just a back pain. I was fixing my car. Okay, why would you be fixing your car? Why would you even have back pain? Oh, it's just something small, something small, something small. And I noticed it was deteriorating
Mhm.
until, how did I even find out? It was cancer. It was prostate cancer. We sure did some tests. I took him all around to get tests done and found out it was prostate cancer. Like, really? Like, this is
So
carrying
I'm
battery?
I mean, I think I don't want you to skip out some parts because
Yeah.
this is not just necessarily for our parents from Nigeria, Africa. We have immigrants from all around the world that are going through similar things, right?
Hmm.
So when you saw that he wasn't looking right and you're like
Hmm.
something is off and he's like back pain and you're going around, at that point he didn't have a citizenship.
Hmm.
So, were you paying cash? Did you have
Oh, yeah.
any programs? What was that like to
Oh
try
yeah,
to
I
look for
remember.
getting
Now
help?
I remember how I found out. So you see, the big thing about this, like I like about in a way about the African community, is the network. You just gotta open up and have a good network around you. So I'm not. I can remember now that it was some blog online that I saw that posted that you in the diaspora, you need a nurse practitioner or someone to check on your parents while they're around. I saw that post and I saved it because I knew my parents go back and forth. So I sent a message to the nurse. She came to our house. It was actually a house visit. Came to our house. She gave me tests that we need. Oh, she actually called a place where we could go get tests done, blood tests done, checked his BP, and that's when we found out that he already has high blood pressure, which I never didn't know that he has high blood pressure. So found that out in my house. Yeah, I remember he was up there, and the lady was like, he could have just died right there. That his
Mm.
blood pressure was so high that
Wow.
I didn't even know. He said that, of course, my dad also was like, "Oh yeah, it's for my back pain. You know, I'm in pain." I know you said this pain is not that much, but
Right.
and now you have high blood pressure. So, yeah, it's for my back pain. Oh, and then it was using. My mom now said that yeah, he's been on blood pressure medication. So you see, a lot of things has been going on that I didn't know
You
about.
know, you weren't aware.
Oh,
I want
so
to
he's
go back.
actually on blood pressure medication? I didn't even know about
Wow.
because I've been going back and forth. He didn't even tell me, why didn't you take your blood pressure medication? My dad said, oh, yeah, it makes me dizzy and sleepy, so I don't like taking it every time. That's the essence of it. You got to take it to sleep and relax your nerves.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank God that
At
was it.
what age was
Thing.
he diagnosed with prostate cancer, and what stage was it? Do you know?
So 2016, actually, the lady did, she just saw that the PSA score was high.
Okay.
So it wasn't really like we went to see an oncologist. She just saw that the PSA score was high, and that was it. She was like, "It's so high and it's alarming."
Mm.
I'm like, "Okay, we gotta start." Sorry,
That's okay.
somebody is trying to adjust.
Lighting.
You can tell who it is.
There we go. There we go. Can see you now.
Uh,
Okay.
okay, all right, better. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, I didn't know that. What your question was? At what age was
Like
that?
at what? Yeah. When? I don't. What age was he diagnosed with prostate cancer, and what stage? Someone asked that in the chat in a
Okay,
question.
so he was probably 60 something. So
Yeah.
if we calculate back, someone had helped me with the maths. So 2016 was when we found out, and he was 82 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Oh wait, yeah, last year. It was 82 last year.
And last year.
Wait, last year. You see, my brain is so much stress.
Yeah. There's so much
Always
happening
years. Yeah, so he passed away last year. It was I think it was 60 something. The reason
when
why
he got diagnosed.
something is because I had to go see my doctor after he passed away to do my test, and I told him that so the history of my dad, and he needs to test me, and he told me he mentioned, I mean, which is not is like you said, it's a disclaimer. This is not advice for anyone. My doctor, I told him that I'm worried about it. My dad he was diagnosed with prostate cancer while he was 60 something. And he said, if you have it after the age of 60 something, if your parent had it at the age of 60 something, that means it's not hereditary. It's just probably something that has to do with him. I said, okay, but still test me. So
Right.
I'm 60 something that we found out. Then, because yeah, he didn't have his papers, everything was paid in cash. So the lady then
Wow.
came home to check his blood test, found out he had high blood pressure. He had to continue taking his meds, and PSA score was really high. Then I
Mm.
had to take him to, yeah, everything was cash. I think I paid the lady, I don't remember how much I paid her back then, 2016. But then I found, oh yeah, she also, very good nurse practitioner. She referred me to, is he an oncologist or an hematologist or someone?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, urologist, yeah.
A
Uro-
rheumatologist,
Urologist.
urologist. Okay, urologist.
She referred me to an urologist that actually now checked on my dad, did the biopsy, and he he was telling me back then that um, they did the random numbers. I said, can he do the? Because he said he could take it out by surgery. I said
Right.
then he was 60 something, so he said he could take it out by surgery. So he ran the numbers. I was like, yeah, okay, how do we do it? Cash only, no insurance, nothing. He was like, even if as much as he loves me and he cares about my dad, even if he says he's not gonna get, if he can tell them not to pay him, but he said the hospital fees alone just to use the OR will cost us. I worked with the nurse of doctor. He said it would cost us about 2,500 or so
Wow.
back then, and that's just for the operating room. Other things would also come in. That
Right.
that's just easy 2,500. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. And he was still looking at me like, dude,
Right.
bad. Nobody. Like, no, I just, like I said, I'm very particular about family. I said, let's just do it. I want him to be fine. That this is not my dad. He was really looking deteriorating. So he now advised me. He said back there that, I practice, I study with a lot of Nigerian doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so sure there will be Nigerian doctors that can do this back in Nigeria. Now, why
Mm.
don't you look at that option? And he mentioned to me that he actually knows some doctors that came to study in the United States that actually moved back to Nigeria and have their own practices, but he cannot just remember their name right now. But I should look into that. And then we started looking, asking around, network, like I
Wow.
said, and we found out
Networking.
a lot of Nigerians that have, a lot of people in our church that have actually done it, that they've seen a doctor, some doctor in Ibadan that they've
Mm.
seen, and okay, we're like, okay, let's plan that. And we planned that. He went back to Nigeria, got the surgery done. That was 2016, and it was good. Everything was good, and ever since then, it comes back. So we now made it. My siblings and I now made it a point of contact. Since then, okay, you know what? It's gonna be a point where every year he must at least get his
Okay.
physicals and annual checkup done in America,
Right.
so that at least I can keep up with watching him. So it wasn't really like he was here for health issues; it was just here to just come hang out with the kids. So after that 2016, coming back,
So let's go back a little bit because I know I'm going to interrupt you a bit just so that we get the full picture. In
yeah,
that 2016, while all of that was happening, were you the sole because you have siblings?
yeah,
How was it? How did you guys like manage it? How did you guys balance it? Was it okay, he's here with you in Houston
yeah.
and so then you take lead? Or is it that, a sibling came? How did that dynamic work with your siblings?
Uh, so remember I said something about my dad not talking about issues that he has, right?
Mm,
That is one big problem I have too. I
okay.
I don't like sharing issues until it's been solved.
Right.
Talk about it. Oh yeah, this is what I did. This is what we did. So the only time I shared it with my siblings was, okay, this is the situation of things. I found out this and this and this and this. He needs to
Mhm.
go back to Nigeria. And we're like, oh wow, really? What's going on? Blah blah. So
Right.
back then I was already settled, knowing the solution, and I told them this is what we're gonna do. And I mean, they were all on board with it. So we went back to Nigeria, got done, and came back to America too. So most of the time I do things. And yeah, he came back to me after that. They chastised me for that. My siblings,
Right. Yes.
you
Because it's a
gotta
lot
share.
of one person.
They're like, we gotta share. Like, and they were
Yeah.
like, even apart from the fact that you can handle it, we need to know so that we
Yes.
can plan ahead to know what we're doing to. So yeah, since then I've been trying to involve them in it, but yeah, I'm improving.
Yeah, you're improving. And also, 2016, you only had two children then, or
Yeah,
three? You only had two at that point. So
yeah,
how was that balance, right? Because you are a husband. We're gonna come to the marriage part probably last. But you're a father at that point to two
hmm
young kids.
hmm
You just found out your dad has prostate cancer. Yes, thank God, they're thinking about there's a doctor somewhere that can help him. But how was that dynamic in the house? You're also paying cash for a lot of, this nurse practitioner come in and trying to get testing, and we know all of that isn't cheap. But how was that balance even with your kids? How were you able to do all of that?
yeah. So like you said, 2016, my first daughter, my second child was just 2 years old, I think. Yeah, she was born 2014. So 2016, she was just two, and my son was just about 4 years old. So
Wow.
they're still kids. So like I said, my parents have just been coming to take care of the kids and play and just hang out with their grandkids.
Right.
So I found out grandpa was sick. I started taking care of grandpa, and grandma was handling the kids, my wife, And another big thing too then was my wife's mom too. I think she was at some point too. She came to stay with us, so we had
That's a lot of people.
yeah. So that
That's you, your wife, your two kids, your parents, and your mother-in-law.
yeah.
That's seven.
Yeah, that was just 2016 or 28. It got bigger.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there was help with my kids. It's just
Right.
that I wasn't really there for them. But I mean, at that age, they really don't even know if I'm there or not. So that helped
Mm,
me to be able to balance that out. And then also, because I kind of know my dad's, my dad doesn't like to bother anyone. So to the point that he doesn't even like to bother my mom, especially.
wow.
Because mommy will start fasting and praying. And she needs to eat. So,
Right.
so
Right.
that's another aspect of it. So when I found out what was going on, kind of like it was like a guide thing. My dad and I kept it within. I said, okay, we won't blow it up when we went to know, but we just keep giving mommy the update and saying that. So we kind of like um kept on handling it until it was time for
Right.
him to go back to Nigeria. And then I had to let mom see know that, okay, this is what's going on. He has to go back to Nigeria, blah, blah. And then she took on the role of, oh, wow, my husband is sick. I got to take care of him, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, at that time, they were ready to go. So I took over taking care. My wife was there, my mother-in-law also to take care of the
Okay.
kids. We could
So
take
it
over.
truly is a community
Oh,
because at some point, in order for you to focus on your dad, you need the support of your wife, of your mother-in-law, of your mom to just kind of step in because 2 and 4 is they're tough ages where yes, they don't really know that you're there, but they're running around. You know,
yeah.
they're finding themselves, finding their personality, trying to I have a 3 year old, so I know it's a lot. It's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of work. So let's fast forward to when? What, 20? When did he come back and stay?
So he's been coming and going. It got better. Like he went to Nigeria. Like kudos to Nigeria. He went back
Yeah.
to got the surgery done. It was better. It was really good. Then he's been coming and going back and forth. Then 2019, he was around. Then COVID hits. I think
Mm.
before COVID happened, he's been coming and going. I think it was before COVID. Oh yeah, it was Trump stopping the
Oh,
uh,
the visas.
what's that thing?
The
Dropbox.
extended?
The drop box where you can drop your passport to just get your to get your visa. So
Okay.
that stopped, and we're like, at that age, they were getting older. Like I said, they were
Yeah.
getting, and I didn't want them to have to go line up for interview or just to get a visa that we know they're going to get. So they came around, I think 2018. We now said, okay, you know what? Let's just get this thing done so that you can stay for a longer time and you don't have to bother about visas anymore. So we got their green card started for them and
Nice.
they got it then COVID, I think it was 2018, 2019, around that area period of time, and then COVID now happened. So they had to stay longer. I think
Okay.
got it. I think they went back to Nigeria. Yeah, they got their green card, went back to Nigeria. I remember telling my dad that you can't stay in Nigeria for more than 6 months. You got to come back.
Next come back.
So that was an issue for him. That, "Ugh, why am I rushing back to?" I said, "You don't want to lose your green card." So it went. Yeah, I went to Nigeria, then came back. COVID now happened, and by then it was getting older.
Yeah.
They were getting older. So at that point, I think we already had my third born, and the others were grown. So at that point, I realized that wow, these people have aged. They can't even take care.
Right.
They can't help with the kids anymore. So it was a 2019 COVID period that I now started saying, okay, I think I have to start taking care of them now. We had to start taking care of them. So yeah, 2019 was it, and then we had a baby in 2019 too. So yeah, that was when the
That's a
pressure started.
lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, you also used to travel for work, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you are not based here. So someone asked in the question box and said, because I want to make sure I get to questions. Just curious, if a parent is on visiting visa, and this is for anyone in the life that may have answers to this, are there options for health insurance or is everything out of pocket only?
So one thing I will say out of visiting research, so one 20 when was it that had another crisis that I had to rush him? August 20, was it August last year? No, August 2 years ago. Yeah, that's why I was
2023.
2023. He had an issue that I had to rush him to the ER, rush him to the hospital. He didn't have insurance. I had to rush him to the hospital. Got into the hospital. I just wanted to stabilize him. So we stayed there for like, he was admitted. He was there for 7 days or 8 days after. And but the good thing, I never knew about it, but I know some people knew about it. I've heard some people knew about it. I never knew about it because I was in my head. I was still calculating every single day. Where I say that,
Right.
it was like, "Ty, how much is this going to be? How much is this going to be?" And the lady was very helpful. The financial lady at the hospital, she came up to me and she was like, "I know this is tough. This is tough on you. I can tell, but there is something called Medicaid, emergency Medicaid.
Okay.
Something called emergency Medicaid that as long as you come through the ER and your situation is critical,
Mm,
there is something called emergency Medicaid. After the doctors have found out that you have your case is critical, emergency Medicaid, they will pay for your bills.
so
Just like
stabilize it. Okay.
so they'll pay the bills and you have to do do other payments yourself. I see someone in the
Yeah.
that's
Someone talked about the Harris County Gold Card. I know someone personally that has used the Harris County Gold Card. So that's, I was gonna give a plug with that is there are some, yes, there's some
mhm,
hospitals that have charitable charity programs where the parent can apply for free healthcare services. Thank you so much. Please keep dropping these
yeah.
resources in the chat. Talk to the social work at the hospital. There's always a social worker that is associated with that hospital, and you can just be honest. I mean, your loved one is there, you want them to get good care,
Mhm.
and there's so many things that they might, you might even qualify for, your loved one may qualify for. So
Yeah.
these, I love that you've kind of talked about that. I love that they brought up the Harris County Gold Card. I love that there are some hospitals with charity programs where, if it's a certain diagnosis, I've heard of ages, they are able to get free health care.
Mm.
So thank you for these resources.
Yeah. So after the lady, like you said, the social worker and the financial counselor told me about the Medicaid will pay for that, the emergency Medicaid, because we came into the ER.
Mm,
That if we had come into another way, they would not cover it, but they can see in the records that we came through the ER and it was a serious issue, so they paid for the hospital bills. I was so relieved for that, but
wow.
that was when they now also could not even diagnose what was wrong with him. They knew it was. They said he got infection, but they just didn't know if it was. And I told them he got a cancer, the surgery done 2 years ago, and of course that's where they got confused. That if you got a surgery done, it's not gonna. It rarely comes back. So they didn't know what it was. He was trying to find out, but they were like, okay. I mean, at least it's stable.
Right.
He's got to leave the hospital, but they now said for his care they still need to check him. He needs to go to a primary care doctor. Yes, like you said, there are some clinics. One of them is Legacy Health in Houston. Well,
Legacy Health, yes.
Legacy Health, you can see a primary care doctor for I think 20. You can take your parents there without insurance. They will give them insurance. They will interview them. They gave my parents insurance, and I think I paid $20 just for each visit. But I must say, I don't know about Legacy L, but you gotta be. I think I watched one of your episodes where you were saying something about you still gotta tell your doctors what you want and still push on tests you want them to perform on you or things you want your doctors to check for you. So my dad has been going to Legacy Health since he came back. That's where I do his yearly physicals. And when
Okay.
things started again, when he came back before even at the crisis, before he got sick, I told the doctor, she kept on saying, oh, it's just probably age. He's old. Let's give him Tylenol, age 50.
Mhm.
That's okay. We did that for a while. I went back. That's it. At that point, my dad already got comfortable with opening up and talking to me.
Right.
talking to family and friends. We're saying, oh, let's see, let him go do MRI. Let's do this. His
Mhm.
back pain. He couldn't walk for a while. I told the doctor, I said, it's okay. It's just comes with age. He's 80 something. He's probably weak. Anyway, kept on saying that. So that's those are the clinics. They have clinics that you can go to and pay $20 or so just to get in. But remember, your healthcare is in your hands. So in your hands. So you have to really, really push this doctor sometimes to get the test you want. So we did
Yeah.
that. And then before we got discharged, they told us about one of those places. They have Legacy Health, and I'm in Fort Bend County, so we have Access Health.
Okay.
So if
Access
you're,
Health.
yeah, Access Health is for Fort Bend. Legacy, you can do that. They can approve you, but if you're because they cover outskirts of Harris County.
Yes.
But when we wanted to get the Harris County Gold Card, we could not get it because my address is in Fort Bend.
Mm.
So
You
that
have to go
limited
to the Harris County.
is limited. So all this state-based or city-based clinics, they have specialists, but they're limited with them, and then the time to see them. They're always booked. Like I remember my dad was supposed. I was asking Access Health that, okay, he's feeling better now. He's been discharged. He needs to see. It was recommended that he needs to see an oncologist to test to be sure what's wrong with him, and we could not find one in
Under that program.
but Harris County had an oncologist, but we don't live in Harris County. We couldn't get the Harris County Gold Card. The oncologist that saw him in the hospital while he was admitted said she would have loved to see him, that she understands the situation, that she would want to continue seeing him. She wants to run a test, do the biopsy and all that. But our practice does not accept cash. If only we have Harris County Gold Card, she could at least start with that.
So wait, while navigating all of this, who was helping you? Like, how did you know? Was it the social work hospital that was telling you about, okay, go to Legacy or go here? Because you didn't know anything.
Yeah, the social
Okay.
gave me a list of options where
Okay.
I actually didn't even know that Fort Bend County had access health. So it was
Mm,
on the they printed out a book for me to see references and where we could go to. So all that was handed over to me. But I mean, if we didn't go to the hospital, we don't know this.
no,
But
no.
I heard about Legacy Health like years ago from family and friends. So I've heard about that. So
Okay.
yeah, Irish
So
Gold Card.
I want to transition a little bit because I'm still conscious of our time, and it's
Yeah,
never enough time. I don't think any of my lives are enough time. I want to talk about navigating because obviously I know you personally, right?
yeah.
And I knew your dad. May his soul rest in peace. I want to talk about the balance between literally your family and taking care of your dad, right? Meaning that while you were running around, because again, you were working, you were coming back, did you feel that obviously you didn't give enough time to your family as you normally would have, right?
Hmm.
But what are some things looking back now that you probably could have done differently, or you're like, really? This was my life. I was dropping my 3 year old at daycare and then taking my dad to physical therapy and then catching a flight to work. Like this was
Yeah,
literally my life.
yeah. What could I have done differently? Oh, I don't think there's anything I could have done differently because I
Yeah,
just had to do it.
yeah.
It had to be done. Like, yeah, it had to be done. I don't think there is any other option. Because I remember when I even had to, when I turned 40, yes, I'm old. Yeah. When I turned 40, that's part of the reasons why I said, because I was getting stressed and doing a lot. I was like, you know
Mm,
what? I'm gonna drop everything. I'm gonna travel. I mean, I
mm,
travel a lot for work. It's
right.
different from I don't want to work. I just want to go relax and have fun. So I was like, okay, I'm traveling. I'm gonna go to Europe, go all around, and I did that with my wife. But before I even left, I had to set up. Uh,
Everything.
yeah, checkups every. I think it was twice in a week. My dad had checkup every twice a week. So good thing I found out Iris Fort Bend County has transfer services.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's pretty cheap. So you can call them and set up a schedule. So I set up a schedule for them to come pick him up and drop him off. And I already told my parents that, okay, this is what you do. They'll pick you up, take you there, and drop you off. And okay, yeah, my how did we even navigate that? Because I think my mother-in-law too was around. Yes, so
Hmm.
take care of my daughter while my parents were gone, and the other two kids are in school.
Wow.
Yeah,
A lot of
so
moving parts.
yeah, I can't remember. I know we shall figure it out. I know there was a time when, while I was away and they were gonna travel, they were gonna go to the clinic, and um, oh yeah, I had to schedule like, because if you schedule pick up and
Hmm.
drop off, you have to put the number of people that they're picking up. So I'd say two adults and a kid.
Wow.
Two adults at this time because I know somebody will be at home. So two
Right,
adults,
right.
kid, I just did all that things, and they
Make
were
it work.
they were like, yeah, they can't pick my daughter up because it needs a car seat. I said, okay, we already planned that out, so you just take the car seat to the car. It's yeah, I had to make all that, schedule all that, and that
Mhm.
actually gave me peace of mind because I mean, it was already scheduled, and they missed some. I'm not gonna lie, they missed some because daddy was slow to come out. The driver
Right.
left,
They're
or
not as patient as you would think they were. So
or
did you feel guilty going on your trip? Did you feel guilty that, okay, my dad has all these appointments.
yeah.
You know, my daughter, I have a, child that is still in car seat and is this, but you needed your time. Like it was probably overwhelming. Do you feel like, do you feel guilt for doing that? Or do you feel like that's what even gave you more, what's the word? Like it allowed you to rest so that you can continue to juggle everything.
No, I don't feel guilty because at that point I was really overwhelmed. Before then, I was overwhelmed, and I needed to go. I
Okay.
really so I don't think I feel guilty. Actually, I mean, probably felt a little bit guilty, but I was really stressed. I
Yeah.
had to go. But what actually, now looking at it, looking backwards, what actually helped me not feel guilty or feel bad about it is when I started seeing because in all this mess, compared, adding everything, marriage, life, and everything, at some point I had to start seeing a therapist
Mm.
to help me know what I'm doing, like what is going on. So when I started seeing my therapist, and
Yeah.
same way I'm talking to you about everything, blah blah, taking everything. The one question she asked me is she she didn't ask a question. She was like, "Okay, you've been talking, but I didn't hear you say what you did for yourself."
Mm.
And I took a trip, and I said, "Okay." Even at that trip, what were you like? Then she gave me task like you're gonna do this for me now going forward. Like she said, 2 hours in a day. I should take 2 hours in a day for myself. And I like that would never work. I told her that can never even work. Like 2 hours in a day, I can't even take that away to take care of my. You need it, or you're gonna break down. So
No, I think kudos to you. Kudos to you for even seeking a therapist and being able to just voice what you're going through because it's hard. And someone just wrote in the chat, it said, people underestimate that feeling of being overwhelmed when caring for parents. It's a lot.
mhm.
Even if my dad called me the other day and was like, "Oh, I have peripheral neuropathy," and I was like, "What?
What is
What do you
that?
mean? What's your diabetes? What's this? What's that?" Didn't have peripheral diabetes. He has plantar fasciitis. But even in that moment that he told me neuropathy, I'm thinking diabetes. I'm thinking numbness, tingling. Okay, we got to go see this. We got to look. I went into like I couldn't stop thinking about it. Right.
Mhm.
So being able to reach out to a therapist, I think kudos to you for doing that. I think that's something that our generation we're more open to doing that I
Mhm.
think we should continue to do because
Well,
we also have to take care of us.
I wasn't really open to it actually. I didn't know. I think it was my wife that caught it. I
Mm,
didn't know I was stressed. I didn't know. I mean, it wasn't like I was showing it because I really have a way. I've mastered the way of hiding my pain or whatever I'm going through.
right.
And she just said like this can't be normal. She
Yeah.
said something. I remember she said something like, "You need to go see a therapist and just talk to a therapist." I'm like, why? I don't need a therapist. Why would I need a therapist? So just talk to someone. I said, well, I talk with my boys. We talk. Said no, like just
No.
talk to someone. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Let me even see. Let me find what therapist I can talk to. And I remember talking to the therapist. I'm like, well, my wife said I should come talk to the therapist, and I was really happy. Oh well, I started with one. That one wasn't giving me the vibe I wanted. I was like,
They weren't on the same vibes.
nah. Then I met this other therapist that she listened and she just
Mhm.
that question like, ooh, that's true. Like I've actually not been taking care of myself. I've
Yeah.
taking care of
So
people around me, being there with people around, and what are you doing for yourself?
right. And you see it all the time on social media, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. You
Hmm.
need to fill your cup in order to help. And I realized that too, right? I've had my parents have a procedure or be in a hospital, and it's like I have a young one, and it just seems like I'm taking care of everyone but me. But then
Hmm.
at the same time, it's like, what about me? What about my health? So
You know,
that's really, really
do it.
important.
Some of us can do it like without. Like for me, I can do it. It's not a problem for me. But another thing my therapist told me, which really struck with me, because she knew that this one, you just want to keep going, right?
Yeah.
And she said it. She was like, "You do know that at some point, Superman needs to cover himself with his cape.
Mm.
You don't need to save everybody. At some point, you're going to need to use your cape as a blanket and just cover yourself and just sleep or relax." And that was it for me. I was like, "Chai, like
I
this."
like that.
Okay, that yeah, you're good. You're saving everybody.
Right.
Everything's kind of good because. And then she said, she told me to. I don't know what I'm talking about my therapy session, but anyway,
That's fine. This is therapy.
so she was like, take yourself back to when you were probably eating in your dinner table. I said, I'm from Africa. We don't have dinner table. We just eat. But she said, take yourself back to where you were born and your siblings. Probably you were looking that you wanted to save. You knew that you had to a lot of things you had to save,
Mhm.
and so you grew up feeling like I want to save, and that gives me
Mhm.
joy when I'm saving things and making things work, and that is one thing I want to talk to people about. That you have to be very careful that you're
Yeah.
saving a lot of people and being there for every other person, not being there for yourself.
Right.
It is, and then like you asked, the question you asked, did you feel guilty? A lot of people feel guilty that, oh, I didn't take care of my parents very well. You
No.
do your best, just do your best
Yeah.
because trust me, do your best, but make sure you're doing your best. So don't make it look like I don't care, but do your
Right.
best. Really, really research and do
Do your
like
best. Yeah.
do your best for them.
Ooh, this is deep. This is super, super deep. And I know we're not even scratching the surface. And I know you feel like, okay, why am I talking about my therapy session? But I'm telling you, this is helping someone.
Yeah.
Someone is going to think about this and be like, oh yeah, maybe I am the saver of the family, right? But I want to switch gears because I'm iffy with time now because I really don't know what time
Yeah.
Instagram made us start. But I want to transition to your marriage. I'm
Hmm.
very big on marriage, right? I'm married, and I feel like when you're married, it's not just you,
Hmm.
it's you and someone else. And although, we pray for a partner that supports and understands and all of that, but you're still married. So it's
Hmm.
like, how were you able to still, um, I guess, stay married through it all? Was it a case of, we understand this is our season now, we'll kind of pick up whenever we can, or were you guys still making a conscious effort towards your marriage?
Well, for my situation, I think I would say I'm blessed or we are blessed because actually all the while my parents have been coming and going, it's always been my wife saying, "When is mommy coming? When is mommy and daddy coming?" Even me, I'm like, who don't like coming too, like let them stay. So she
Right.
them around. So my wife grew up in a big family where everybody's living together, grandma, everybody's together.
Mm.
So I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with a nuclear family, just us and parents. But she grew up with that, so that made it easy for having family around. It got to, I mean, like I said, you were counting seven, right? There was a point where we were nine because I had my daughter,
Wow.
my third daughter, and then my mother-in-law was with us, and then my grandma-in-law too now came to stay with us.
Wow.
It was a very big family.
That's a lot of elderly people in the
Oh yeah,
house.
so it was a lot of other people. So in a way, though, it kind of because she likes it. That's what she wants. That's what I like her around. But I mean, she has a breaking point too.
We all do. We all
Yeah.
do.
So that kind of helps. So it wasn't really like it was one person that wanted it. And then the fact that they were there in our house, come on, you can't even argue some, some
Some of the
husband and wife
you
arguments.
got to let some things go.
They will join. They will come and hey, what are you fighting about? Why are you arguing?
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
get
good
let's
point.
go. Let's go fight.
Let's go in the car. Let's go in the car because I really want to talk. I want to fight
Yeah.
this out. So that's a good
Yeah.
point.
So a lot of oh yeah, we had some issues that because they were living with us, you can't nothing will happen. You people will settle it.
Right.
So it kind of helped us because that's one thing I would say that I'm not going to say I was not taking care of them. They were actually taking care of my family and helping me
Mhm.
even learn things. Oh, my dad too would give me some. So it was funny. So it was like just myself, my dad, and my son were the only boys in the house, and the other people were girls.
Women.
Yeah, women, ladies, all the generation,
All the
all
generations.
yeah,
So you
everything.
were you were outnumbered. So
Yeah,
there was
just
nothing you guys
myself,
could have
my
done.
dad, and my son. So
I
um,
think your wife is telling the tea. She said we fought at the park. Y'all
uh,
would take a walk to the park to go fight.
that those fight that you go and fight and you must come back home smiling or come back home.
Right.
Just even you drive yourself, go and argue, drive yourself back, even if you're not.
Right.
But
And I think you kind of touched on the point of community, right? And
yeah,
you were blessed that you had your mother-in-law, your grandma-in-law. Some people don't have those extended families there, but you have girlfriends, you have friends that you trust, people that are like family, that in time of need, you can kind of step in. And I think that's one thing we don't do is ask for help and just say, you know what, there's a lot going on right now. I need someone to kind of step in, and
but
we'll be surprised how
harder
many
in
people
America.
actually step in.
Really hard in America to ask your friends to step in because your friend is probably struggling. Everybody
Yeah,
hustling in America. We are hustling like
yeah.
if we gotta work. You barely even like have time to hang out or like you have to actually plan a meeting with your friends or hanging out. Oh, we go come out. Like my boys, I'm gonna come out next Saturday. Oh, you already like Nigeria. We don't do that. We
Yeah,
just get up and go. But
yeah.
yes, it's now hard for you to now say your friends should be there like your parents will be there for you. Take care of your kids. Can I drop my kids over
Mhm.
at your place? Can they be, I mean, you can't even take trips. You can't even, if you don't have parents or older siblings that are not working, that
Mhm.
are relaxed to take care of your kids for you, it's hard. You can't drop, yeah, I can drop off my kids at my friend's place for probably a night.
But not for a week.
Yeah,
Well,
not for a
I
week.
don't know. For some friends, some
Ah,
families, some
let me meet
cousins.
them, please. I need friends like that.
I'm not sharing. Look, I'm gonna keep my friends there because my friends will be like, bring them home. But like, I mean, that's part of your community. And you're
Yeah,
right. You don't want to put because everybody's going through something. At
yeah.
one point, we're all going through one thing or the other, whether we're sharing it or not. So
Hmm.
you feel like you don't want to put that burden on someone else. But at the same time, I think finding that family where it can be shared, right?
Hmm.
Maybe let's say another, maybe you're going out on a trip and you take the kids or they take the kids. When you come back, you're like, okay, your kids can come over. That way it gives them a break, even if they're not traveling or doing anything.
Hmm.
I have a couple of friends that are like that. They're kind of like, oh, so and so's kids have been with me for 3 days. And I'm like, can my kid come for
Wow,
3 days?
wow. They really,
But they switch off because they feel like they need that support, they need that help.
mm.
So, but I mean, this has been a lot.
That would be good to find. It'd be good to find like Olabombo Shell said. It's hard to find friends like that. Even if
Yeah.
you find the friends like that, I'm always particular about. I don't want to overuse things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather, I don't want to overuse that friend because I'll keep you for a friend for rainy day. Uh,
Yeah.
call you. Yeah. So it's hard. So family really, it was really helpful for our marriage.
Right.
To go back to your question, our parents being around was helpful for our marriage, and in a way too. I know there was a time when my wife and I discussed that, oh, having all these parents around, we can't really be like parents. Oh yeah, another thing, being a sandwich generation, having parents around is, they're from a generation that is, what generation are they, self? Older generation. We were,
Older.
and when there's a way you want to train your kids, right?
Oh yeah.
Things you want them to know that this you do this, but the parents have a different ideology of things, and you're trying to let them know that nah, this is 21st century.
Yeah.
To force them to do this. No, oh, keep going on. I mean, shit, you have to.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was another culture. That's another tough blend that you have
Yeah.
to try to work with, because your parents will say no, this, that, that. But um, at the end of it all, like
Yeah.
you still always good to have family around.
It is.
No matter what sandwich generation, make the most of it for yourself. Like my therapist said, just make sure you're looking out for yourself,
Yeah.
even in the situation of things. Even though it's complicated, try to make sure that it's for your own benefit and everyone is getting blessed through it. They're
Through it
getting
all. Ooh.
being with you, and you're getting blessed for them being with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Someone said, how do you enforce boundaries with those generational differences?
Yeah, you gotta
That's tough.
you gotta talk with your kids. I know my kids, for a fact, they would complain. I didn't feel it for a while because they would come complain, oh, grandma said we should do this. I'm like, don't worry. I said, don't
Yeah.
worry. Don't worry. And then grandma will repeat again and still tell them, you gotta do this. So I had to like call them at some point. I mean, I didn't really call them until when my son said something. I was like, damn, I need to do something.
Yeah.
It was like talking, my daughter was complaining about something that grandma said, and I was like, oh, please. And then I was stressed. Like, just leave me alone. Like, then my son was like, he won't listen to you. What do you think? Would he listen to you? You're talking about his mom. No matter how
Wow.
he won't listen to you. That's his mom. What do you want him to complain? I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Okay, guys, let's talk. Like,
Let's everybody sit down. Family meeting. Look,
this, this
Ed 78 said the boomer generation with an additional African. Oh, too much flavor. First of all, too much flavor. And that's stuff. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Is trying to raise kids with this generation because
yeah,
it is so different.
you got to talk to your kids and let them understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to let them know that. See, this is what my grandma is saying. This, they're from this generation. This is what they do, and
Yeah.
we. It got to a point I had to tell them that I don't want you arguing with grandma or anybody. Just if they tell you anything, just say yes, ma, because you've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Then come back to me or to your mom and talk to us about what grandma said, grandpa said. We would explain to you. Maybe we
Right.
would explain it better to you so you can
Right.
understand what they're trying to tell you. So we did that for a while. So you would have to get to that point where you have to talk to your kids that, okay, this is you don't have to enforce the boundaries in front of the kids or in front of the parents, because you don't want to cause you
Right.
don't want to show that. So you just gotta, then you can still talk to your parents too that, okay, of course, parents,
They're not the best.
telling my mom and telling parents that don't do that. It's about what you
Yeah,
people
I
be,
know. There's fault. There's fault. Everything is their fault. I
yeah.
know.
Yeah. So it's just gotta talk to both parties involved.
Good luck. Whoever asked that question, I'm just gonna say good luck. When you find the answer, please DM me because I
Yeah.
know that's upcoming for me. But I do want to say thank you so much for sharing and being open and being transparent because this to me, this sandwich generation is hard.
It is hard.
It is hard. When I
Uh,
started this page, I specifically wanted it for the sandwich generation because we're so busy taking care of our kiddos. We're so busy taking care of our parents. We forget about our health. We're so busy with others that we're not really prioritizing ourselves. And so that's why I'm so big on this testimonial. I think since day one, I called you and I said, I need you to come on and do this testimonial because I saw you kind of go through it, almost the latter end, but I saw you go through it, and I just thought that you went through it with such grace, and your wife just spoke highly of you and just how you handled the whole thing. And I think there were so many things that we took from this conversation. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time on a Monday night with all my Wi-Fi and no Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah.
I hope this was relatable. Oh, great. Somebody just said that. I hope it was relatable to everyone that is watching, because if you don't have young kids or elderly parents, we're going to get there. And I
Mm.
want you guys to come back to this page and come back to this live and kind of hear some of the gems that I did kind of dropped, because there were a lot of things that you've even made me think about. The resources that you shared, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone else that dropped resources in here. It will help someone. Not everyone here is from Houston, Texas. So find out your state clinics, find out your city clinics, and what works for wherever you are around the
Oh yeah.
world.
One thing I also want, sorry to cut you short. One of the
No,
things, the resource that I recently found that I wanted to drop is there are some um I mean it's gonna cost you, but I don't think you need insurance for that. If you have insurance, it's good also. There is something called seniors helpers that if you like if you're like my mom, because we're thinking of her coming back to come stay with me, and now I mean now she's alone. Our best friend is gone, so
right,
it's gonna be with me. But I'm still gonna be traveling. We're gonna be busy and doing.
right.
So I was trying to get someone to come at least be with her and make sure it reminds her to use her meds and all that. So there are
Caregiver services. Yeah.
senior services. They're not home health, because home health will they actually I found out that home health will they are trained to administer um, injections and drugs and stuff,
Right.
but senior helpers are not trained to. They're not trained to do that. They're just gonna be
Almost like a provider services, like a support system.
like a companion. Yeah,
Companion.
they will.
Okay.
They can take them to the store. They'll go shop, walk around. They help them do
Right.
things. They can some even cook for them at home. They'll cook for
Uh-huh.
them if you want to eat anything. They'll cook. They'll be there with you, hang out with you, do things for you for the older person, take care of the person. And
Right.
but it costs a lot because a friend of mine actually has it, and she told me about it. They charge you per hour. 4 hours is the least, and I charge. That's a lot of
It's a
money.
lot. It adds up. It
Yeah,
adds up. I don't want
people that
Instagram to kick us out. So I think this is we're almost at our hour. But I just want to thank you all so
yeah.
much for joining tonight. I truly appreciate it. If you have insurance, they typically provide their senior care in the home for several hours a day. So I'm trying to say all of these because that way we can have it in the live in case someone goes back to watch it. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. This was great. Thank you, DJ Shoops. That's what I'm going to call you
They
for
said my friend
just
said inflation has taken the DJ out of
DJ out. Thank you, Shoops. For just everything. I hope you all got some great resources and
yeah.
information. Have a blessed week. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next Monday at 8:30.
Thank you. Bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.